Hey there and welcome to another part of my City Skylines design guide. Today we're going to be working with farms where I'm going to go through some techniques that you can use to make them look great and make the transition seamless between your rural and urban areas. Before we begin, I want to address a recurrent topic in the comments lately. Some people have been voicing their opinions towards the series, complaining that in some cases my designs are not the most efficient when it comes to traffic, or the fact that I have everything unlocked and have infinite money. My designs are not really useful, just to name a few examples. While I do appreciate your concern, I want to be super clear that more than anything else, this is a design tutorial. The focus is on form over function. In other words, what looks nice before what works well. And to address the issue with the unlimited cash flow, the reason why I play with it turned on, and I said this many times in case you weren't paying attention, it's because it's faster to build than to record the videos. If you like playing with the challenge of money not being free, I can guarantee that you can also achieve the same results that I show in my videos, but it will definitely take you a lot longer to get there, and you'll have to iterate a bit more over time. So I'm going to begin by showing you a city that I have created. It's a small town, as you can see, 9,200 citizens here. Nothing too crazy. We have some residential areas, both high and low density. We have also some commercial areas and some office space. And there's an university, a cemetery, basically all your basic services. We have some power generation here, some garbage incineration, and so on and so forth. You get the picture. Now, what I'm hoping to do in this episode, or in this part, is to get a bit of a farm going around this urban area. I try to keep the city, well, I mean, it's a grid, right? But I try to keep the edges a bit ragged, like this, so they're not uniform. And that will help us with, once we start creating the different farm plots, these will come in handy as a bit of a transition between the urban area and the rural areas. Also, just so you know, we're going to do half of the city with a grid-ish layout for farms, and on this side we're going to be working on a more organic approach. So I'm going to get started right here. In this case, I'm going to go, I think, 3 segments in, and then I'm going to go up right about here and connect it to this road. And we're going to keep repeating some of these patterns over and over again. As you can see, we're creating different rectangles of different sizes. We can go up maybe 2 levels, connecting back to this road, and we can do the same over here. And I'm going to continue creating more of these rectangles and catch up with you guys in just 1 second. So this is how the squared grid-like layout of the rural area looks like. As you can see, we have rectangles of different sizes. Some of them are symmetric, are split right in the middle. Some others are slightly off. And if you ever flown on a plane, I'm sure you've seen patterns like this outside your window looking into rural areas. So this is pretty much the base layout that I'm going to be using for this side of the map. I can easily extend this pretty much throughout the entire tile that we have, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to focus on this little corner. Next thing we're going to do is lay down some power lines, and the reason why it's, well, we're not going to be zoning absolutely everything. If we do so, I mean, let's take a look right here. As you can see, farms only are 4 tiles deep, as pretty much as any other zonable element in this game. And if you do that, you'll get many farm buildings, one next to each other, and an empty space in the middle. That is not good. So what we're going to do instead, we are simply going to zone small areas like so. I'm going to get to that later in this episode. For now, I'm just going to lay down some power lines so that we can get some power to these small zone areas. It'll all become much more clearer in a few minutes. So one of the reasons why I tend to draw power lines right next to other elements, in this case street, but you can also do it with a row of trees. And as you can see here, I did it with freeways as well. I try to hide power lines as much as I can. Usually when you have power lines out there with nothing around it, I don't know if there's a good example here. Well, not really. In any case, let me return back to my base. Usually other elements, like in this case a dirt road, will be so much brighter than the power lines that it will pretty much overwhelm the footprint of the power lines, and that makes the power lines blend in a little bit more with the environment. So as you can see, I'm trying to follow this different roads. We can also go into different spaces, maybe right up here, and then actually, you know what? Let's continue all the way up here into here and actually go across this this field. We're gonna mix it up with things like that too. So I'm gonna finish laying down some power lines, and I'll return in just a second. And now with our power lines into place, as you can see, I extended a few branches of it, nothing too crazy. This is usually the dead ends of these power lines will be the places where I'm going to be zoning some farming, but we'll get to that in a moment. Like I said, probably 5 or 6 times already. And you're like, yeah, I get it. You're going to cover that later. So what I want to do next is start laying down some trees. This is probably the most task incentive thing that I'm going to be doing, but it will be worth it. And I'm also not going to let you watch this whole thing. I'm going to cut it and basically finish it off camera. But I just want to show you what I'm aiming for here. I'm just trying to get trees around some of these roads, just like so. In fact, I should have probably cleared previous trees, so we can do that. I'm using the tree brush mod. You can find it on the Steam Workshop. It's super popular. Everyone already downloaded it. So what I'm going to do is clear some of the excess trees beforehand. I forgot about doing that. Sorry. But it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. That will do. Let's continue plopping down some more trees. And even we don't have to follow all of the roads. We can actually do things like this. Just create our own fake delimiters and not just be subordinated to roads. I'm using fancy words today, as you can see. And we're gonna continue this pattern. As you can see, we already have some nice farm-like features. Let me finish the rest, and then I'll talk about this a bit more. And here it is. Isn't this gorgeous? It already looks like a farm before I even plopped anything on it. As you can see, I try to follow the line of trees, sometimes on one side of the road, and here I kind of play with maybe having on both sides of the road, on the other side of the power lines. You can basically mix it up. The more random it is, usually the better it looks. As you can see, I also created fake lines in between this rural blocks, if you will, and I also added some sort of hedge around the urban area, where this helps a lot with the blending in from the rural or the farmland into the urbanization. Now, for the other side of the town, I'm also going to be using dirt roads, but in this case, I'm going to choose the free-form road, simply because it creates automatic tangents from the previous segment, which makes it really easy to create smooth organic shapes like this. Let me do something coming over here. Actually, you know what? Let's just go up, curve, so it kind of mirrors this, and then somewhat reverse it. In fact, you know what? Let's leave some empty-ended branches, if you will. Unlike this layout, where I could have like basically dead-end streets going outside in different directions, I think this type of layout is it goes better with that type of dead-end road. Let's see, we should probably connect some of the circles in between, just so that traffic doesn't get completely messed up. We can continue like so. And I'm gonna keep expanding using this design layout, and I'll resume in just 1 second. And this is when you think to yourself, what the hell is that? What did this guy do? Well, just give me a moment. Leave me a moment to explain. This is just a base layer of this organic farm layout, and this is just the beginning. Oops, I meant to click the other button. Let me clear some of these trees, And like I was saying, yeah, this is just the base layout. The farms will actually go slightly over this this road pattern. So what I wanted to do first is start pretty much doing the same thing that we did on the other side. We're gonna lay down some power lines. So I'm just gonna try connect them in a way that we can hug this Kirby roads. Let's continue over here, maybe, if we can. Sometimes you don't have a whole lot of freedom when it comes to plopping this power lines in these conditions, but we'll get there. And finishing the power lines on this site. So as you can see, we have some power lines going up all the way up to here. They branch out over here, and they're connected to the main urban areas. And we also have some power lines right here as well. So what we're gonna do next is start putting down some trees. And this is where we really wanna be careful, because we wanna plop trees in some cases near roads, but in some cases we're gonna be making some of these shapes but with trees. You'll see in a minute. Let me start by putting down some trees against this road. And we're gonna continue on this side. But now, instead of just stopping by this road, we're gonna keep going in a bit of a circular shape. So you can see, I mean, I'm terrible at doing this. I'm sure you can do a much better job. But this will create some interesting shapes. We're gonna come back and meet again with the main road. However, now instead of just finishing here and putting trees here, we're gonna continue up on this side. In fact, we're gonna meet with this freeway trees, which we can use to actually blend some of our farmland, not only with the urban areas, but also with the freeway. So let me put down some more trees all around here. We might have bigger farms on this side than on this other side, but I mean, those are different styles and you can mix it up. It's really up to you. So I'm gonna do the rest and create some more of these fake quote-unquote shapes, and you'll see what I'm talking about in just 1 second. And plopping the last set of trees, and this is how our farmland looks like. Even if you position the camera on this angle, you can actually tell where the suburbs are, where the downtown area is, and where the rural areas are. And that makes me very, very happy. I think it's aesthetically interesting and pleasing at the same time. So these are the layouts of the farms that we're going to be working on, but we're not even close to being finished with this. Next step would be zoning. So I'm going to grab an industrial area. Actually, one thing I need to do first is that I almost forgot. We need to make this farm areas first. So we're going to create a district. And we finish painting the district. Now we assign farmland to it. So now we can specialize in agriculture. And with the agriculture specialization, I can start zoning. And like I said before, I'm not going to zone absolutely everything. I'm just going to zone a few fragments of this rural area. I'm interested in this types of intersections because I can get some like small town vibe thing going here. I can even zone some residential right next to this farms. I'm probably not going to do it right away, but we can also get just the 1 or 2 warehouses that are required to run a farm. So this whole plot of land with these 2 buildings is what makes it look like a farm at the end of the day. Let's do a few more. I tend to have like mini like downtown areas with several farming equipment. Let's just zone all these. They're gonna be scattered all around this this farmland here. In fact, here in this corner, we don't have power lines, but sometimes what I do is get some zoning going, like so. We can even get some more on the other side. By the way, I already have water pipes underneath here, in case you were wondering. There's really no point in showing that, but these guys are not gonna have electricity, so usually what I do in remote areas like this, I just simply put down a windmill, just like we have here, a wind farm. Places like this feel like they belong. So take a look at this farm. As you can see, we have some nice warehouses, some this is probably some sort of a chicken thing. chicken factory, if you want to call them that. I mean, that's kind of what they are. And of course, with the wind turbine in the back. Let's look at this creations down here. Again, we have some buildings popping up here and there. It's all about mixing up the space of the farm and the farm buildings. Let's get some more zones in here. Hopefully we'll get some pens with animals. I think that will be quite interesting to see. Some more over there. We can even zone next to the urbanization. In fact, you know what? I want to finish creating some of these zones on this side, and I'll show you another trick on how to make the cities blend in more with farmland. So I finished zoning the agriculture areas on both sides of the city, and also for good measure, I sort of continued the squares and rectangles and connected them with the freeway so you can see the contrast between the organic shapes and the not so organic shapes over here. However, our demands have changed, and I was saying before that it would be nice if we can mix the urban area with the farm a little bit further. So now that we have some residential demand, I was thinking of maybe upgrading some chunks of road. Let's just use the one that doesn't have trees. So let's mix the farmland with urban areas just a tiny bit more. What I'm going to do is convert some of these dirt road segments into the 2-lane with grass. I prefer to use that instead of the trees. Just do not overdo it. In fact, just a quick tip for future reference. These two are one-way streets, the ones that do not have trees, whereas the other ones are two-way. This is just a quick and fast way for me to know what's what instead of just zooming in to see where the arrows point, especially when you have a bug that prevents you from seeing that, as I have right now, but I'll get that fixed. Anyways, we're going to continue upgrading, sometimes 2 segments, some others just 1, like in this case. I need to fix some of the power lines. I'll probably do that in just 1 second. I don't want you yelling in the comments that I didn't. And that should be it. As you can see, some of these segments start to already blend in a bit more with the farms. So what I'm going to do next is basically zone just 2 tiles, like so, on all of the edges, or almost all of the edges. And I'll tell you which ones to avoid. I should probably unzone this. There we go. Sometimes I want to leave patches of trees like this, so I'm only going to zone in places like this. I don't know, and just keep this L-shaped tree hedge as it is. We can leave some trees over here and zone a bit more over here, like so. In this case, I'm only going to do 4 so that those trees I already have don't get bulldozed or just disappear. And we're going to keep repeating this over on this side and on the other one as well. And when we zone the last corner, you can see that we have a mix of zoning on the edges. I paused the game so that the buildings won't develop, but you can see how they start to blend in. So let me start the simulation. Let me go to super fast and see what we end up with. So at this point, I hope that you would agree with me that the roads and the farm area, the urban area and the farm areas definitely blend in a bit more. As you can see here, I zoned against the paved roads and also put down some more trees around some of these houses. I might have gone a bit too overboard with it, but you can... it's just a matter of finding a balance between the number of trees and the houses and how sharp you want the edge of your neighborhoods to be. But this is really not over yet. I think we can add a bit more detail to our farms, even though they already look like farms, especially when you look up close at this level. These already look like farms. However, we can take it to the next step. One thing that I want to do is plop down a roll station. You can also, this is a mod by the way, you can download it from the Steam Workshop. If I remember, I'll try to post the links in the description of this video, but if not, just search for it. Just pause the video, look for that keyword, you'll find it, no problem. I try to find areas like this where I can also zone some residential to basically not high density residential, but regular residential, so that people who work here can also live here. And we can do that over here as well. Just small, tiny houses. We can even leave some gaps in between. Something like that. Doesn't have to be fancy. So rural stations, rural police stations. We can try plopping this. Where this would go nice. Maybe on this corner, just by itself. Look at this. Isn't this the most beautiful police station ever? It's great. It's great, and it will patrol your farm areas. We can put another one over on this side. We don't necessarily have to plop residential, but we'll do it anyways, just because it looks nice having a bunch of houses next to the police station. People love it. In fact, you know what? I have a little park here that you won't be able to see because all the thumbnails are still bugged. But I can plop this little park over here, and it's a parking lot right next to the police station. In case you're wondering what this is, car park 2x1 Diag Deco. Look it up on Steam Workshop. I'll try to include the link if I can, but look it up. It's really easy to install mods in this game. And now the final trick to get these farms to be even more farm-like is basically getting some crops. So for this part of the tutorial, I'm going to be using the Tree Rush mod. Basically, you download it from the Steam Workshop, and all you have to do to increase the radius of the ploppable element is press plus or minus. That way you can increase the brush size, and I'm going to pick the small bush because this is what I'm hoping to do. I'm just going to create crops by doing this. You can also create crops manually. It will take forever, but you can do it. You can do rows of crops like this. And with enough patience, you can create crops like this too, manually. However, this is a really intensive task, but it might be worth it. But for the meantime, just for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to use the brush tool. I'm not gonna do all of the farms. I just want to leave some gaps here and there, so they look a bit more random. It's just all about mixing the different elements. Some of them can be next to each other. Some others could be empty in between. It's really up to you. I'm just trying to get a few examples here so you can get an idea of how this would look like. And we can also do it on the organic side. The organic side. This is not the organic side. They use chemicals for these vegetables. Don't eat them. They're not organic. The organic layout is what I meant. We can do the same thing, just paint over a few of these crops. I wish that, I'm sure that later down the road when more mods come out, I'm sure you're going to be able to use different crops for your farms, maybe even different colors too. So that will be interesting to play around with. We can get maybe these two to have these crops, maybe this big one over here together with this one. Maybe just go on the other side of the road as well. And let's see, let's get this middle one over here as well. And one more. For good measure, we can get this one in the middle too, it will be nice. It doesn't matter if it overflows to the side, but yeah, this is how our farmland looks like. This is great, by the way, to fill in as suburbs of your town when you don't know what to do. If you're done with a neighborhood and you want to kind of blend it in with the rest of the map, this is good. This is good for that. In fact, this organic layout, it's probably better for terrain with height differences. I think it will be very nice on a hilly side or mountains. Pretty much you can combine this in any way you can and get to good results. And with that, it's time to put an end to this video. Remember, this is one part in a series of episodes, so make sure to check out the playlist of this design guide that's linked in the description of this video. And to be notified of new parts that come out, make sure to subscribe to this channel and also follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/StrickToaster, and on Twitch, twitch.tv/StrickToaster. Hope you enjoyed this episode and hope to see you the next time. Have a great day.